Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Eliza and I do videos on personal finance and budgeting. Today I'm going to be taking you through my November budget, but first let's take a look at October and see how that closed off. So my income for October, let's actually zoom in a little bit here. My typical paycheck is about $4,100. I had a flex fund payout from work and a tax rebate. So my total income for October was around $4,700, which is a bit higher than usual. My bills totaled about $1,900, and that included $14.95 in rent and 4 weeks of HelloFresh, as well as an electricity bill. Taking a look at my expenses, altogether was $1,300. I budgeted about $640. October was a really spendy month. I go over that a little bit in my mid-month money check-in video, but we had a few high expenses that some had been planned for and some weren't. I spent more on groceries than I anticipated, and I had planned a fancy dinner out that I ended up spending more at. Gas was also higher as we did a bit more traveling than we planned, or we just hadn't bought a lot of gas recently, so we were a little unsure about how much the prices were. And then we did a tire swap in late October, which was about $300. This we don't budget for, we just take this out of our vet and car sinking fund, so that's fine there. But even without that, it was about $1,100 for expenses. In terms of savings in October, I saved $555 for our home down payment fund, $300 for travel. I used about $200 from my sinking fund just to use as a buffer for my expenses, and then we took about $290 out of our vet and car sinking fund to pay for the tire swap. And then for debt, I paid off $601 on my student loans to take them down to $12,000 and put $5,000 into my tax-free savings account. So altogether in October, this is a little bit trickier to use here. Maybe I will go back down to 100. So altogether in October, about $4,700 in income, $1,900 in bills, almost $1,400 in expenses. Savings net was $348, although I saved $855, and then the rest was coming out of sinking funds. $500 into my tax-free savings account and $601 into debt payments. So moving into November, which we're already in, the end of October was a little bit disorganized in terms of payments coming out in early November for things that happened in October, as well as payments coming out in October for November expenses. I was paid a few days earlier than expected, so it just got a little bit messy, which is why this video is a little bit late. But in mid-October, I received a temporary promotion at work that put me in a higher pay bracket. I thought that was going to take effect for my end of October paycheck, but it didn't. So my budget is a little wonky this month in terms of what I had anticipated being able to spend. So I was expecting about $4,600 in my paycheck, but I received $4,111. I put this here as a top up in case it came in mid-month for this correction, but I really don't think that that's going to happen. So I'm trying to just work with this $4,111 amount. So looking at bills for this month, my rent has come out, that's $14.95. 2 weeks worth of HelloFresh has come out, a little under the expected amount because I had a few issues with my recipes, so there's a few discounts here and here. I had some ripped chicken and there was something else with one of these. I don't remember, but I think the rest will be the full amount. And then this month I have a new bill. I signed up for a gym recently, so It's about $30 biweekly, and then I have a sign up fee. So for November, I've budgeted $175 for the gym, but I think after this month it'll be about $70 a month. So the purple, this purple highlight is sort of a new expense or a higher expense than normal. And that's just for me to sort of visually see things that are either anomalies or big changes in my budget. So looking at expenses, I tried to mirror the categories for last month, but I've gone a little bit stricter than I had anticipated for a couple reasons. So one is therapy. This month I have a therapy session which is $120. I've actually already had it, so that's been paid out. This is sort of newer in my budget and might not be every month. And the other is a birthday, which I've budgeted $100 for. So this is my husband's birthday, and we do have a coupon, or rather a gift card we might be using for a restaurant. So I'm budgeting an extra $100 to spend on that. And then I budgeted $150 for groceries, which I've already gone over. Zero for restaurants, just because I spent a lot last month. So aside from the birthday restaurant, I'm going to try not to go to any other restaurants. $200 for cat food. I've already spent $174, and that should be good for the month. $100 for gas. I don't anticipate doing any traveling this month, so that should be sufficient. And then $500 for personal. $25 for coffee. I've already spent $18, so this should realistically be higher, although I'm trying not to spend so much. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'd like to reduce my spending on coffee. I wouldn't say that I'm trying to spend less. $30 for entertainment. I've already spent $588. And zero for takeout, zero for shopping, zero for seasonal. I don't know if this is realistic. I just didn't feel like I had the wiggle room for that. And then I want to put $25 onto my Apple account. This is for one-off song purchases on iTunes or renting movies, or occasionally I will do a 1-month Disney Plus membership, and that I like to come out of my account rather than going off of my credit card. So for savings in November, I've put $200 into the house down payment fund, and then the rest, I did a $250 top up into the vet car sinking fund. So again, to try to pay off the tire swap that came out in October. We also have a package policy coming in either November or December, which will be a few $100s, and then $50 into travel. For debt, I put $500 onto my student loans. The Canada Federal Student Loan interest is potentially going to be waived permanently. That's not for sure yet, but if that is the case, I'm thinking about whether I want to continue paying them off as aggressively as I was, or whether I want to reduce this. I'm not really sure yet. And then for my tax-free savings account, I put in $200. I would like this to be higher, but I am still investing quite a bit monthly through my workplace pension, so this isn't my only investments. In total, I invest about 15 to 18% per month between my workplace pension and my tax-free savings account. But I would like to bump this up once my new higher income comes in. So some of my goals for this month, one of my to-dos was there's a Sephora sale. I don't know if I'm actually going to get anything this month. I only have a few things that I want. I wouldn't necessarily classify them as needs, so we'll see if that happens. I am trying to reduce my spending, although I just have this under goals and I don't actually have a system in place, so I'm not sure if this will actually happen this month. And then as a note, I have to don't expect the top up mid-month, so I don't think I'm going to have any extra money coming in this month. I don't want to rely on that. So just to keep that in mind as I'm going through the month and not overspend thinking that I'll have some sort of bailout coming this month. I do expect it to come eventually in the next month or two, but I don't know when that's going to happen. And then some of my expenses I've already put in. I had a pretty high bank fee this month of $625, and I've spent about $170 on groceries. I had my therapy session for $120. I did a big breakfast Tim Hortons drive-through for my husband and I last week. Got the cat food, and we rented Jurassic World Dominion, which was a pretty terrible movie. I would not recommend it. But that is what the budget is looking like for November. I'll just point out a few things here because I had a question. These bills, these are my portion of the bills. So my husband and I split our bills. He has a few $100s in savings that go into the house down payment fund, about $500 to $700 per month, and then occasionally into the vet and car sinking fund, which we like to keep around $5,000, and we're working to get that topped back up. And then he pays for regular groceries. I pay for the HelloFresh, but he pays for like grocery store groceries, and he pays our car payment, our car insurance, our internet, home phone, or rather cell phones, and we sort of go back and forth on the electricity bill. So this isn't our only household bills, it's about half. So I just wanted to clarify that because this is pretty low, and I don't want you to think that this is all that I have coming out. So our cost of living is about $5,500 per month outside of savings. So I'd like to keep it around 75% of what we have coming in so that we can keep going with our savings and investment goals. All right, so that is the budget for November. Let me know in the comments below if you have any financial goals that you're hoping to conclude in November or December. I am hoping to have contributed $2,500 to my tax-free savings account this year. So next month I'll be bumping up my contribution to reach that amount. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.